Now I think you can now hear me. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. I don't know why, for some reason it didn't cut me up. Okay, now we are here. Alrighty, folks. I'm starting the thing. As I've mentioned, as I've promised yesterday, we're going to continue drawing Frieren at this hour. We're going to make a gaming stream at 7 p.m. on the other channel at Davis Place. Okay, Frieren. I was watching a little bit of Frieren and I've took some cool, you know. Okay. Okay. And this. God damn it. Alrighty, that should be it. And yeah, folks, we are going to continue drawing Frieren, so from Sousoun no Frieren. As you can see, I've actually took the opportunity to check the like Frieren's backgrounds, right? So basically this is like actual scene from the anime. This is the magic capital, by the way. I've already got to to that extent. And okay, so basically I've noticed a couple things and I really like what I see because that means less work for me. But and you can see that actually it's kind of similar to what I have here. But yesterday I've talked about how you should be building your your backgrounds using grids and such, and what I didn't do for those, the grid. I didn't do the grid. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm deleting that. I'm making a new layer and I'm taking red and I'm going to do the same thing here. So this is more or less what I've mentioned, right? Oh wait, yeah, there it is. So basically this is what I've mentioned. The grids don't have to merge. So for example, this is, where this top line here, right, the very short one, is actually where the grid is, and basically we are going to do similar one but somewhere else, right, because this is where it ends and this is actually the proper horizon line for the horizon of the ground. So somewhere in between, like actually, I guess literally in between, there's our horizon line, and as you can see, Frieren is literally in the very middle of our horizon line, which means that everything is going to fit. That's how perfect actually this is, and yeah, it's actually how it's supposed to be, based from what I've learned, of course, right, over the course of couple over the course of couple days, right, in the past. Okay, that, and we have this. Yeah, we are going to kind of spread the land here, and I'm going to continue the the horizontal lines here and there. You know what I'm saying? Just because like the horizontal line is going to be the same because that's the kind of like backdrop thing, right? This is the those are going to be lines for the structure lines for our horizon. Well, the middle point. And basically after that we are going to draw a fast couple fast lines basically. And yeah, so that this will be that. And yeah, on the last stream, as I've mentioned, I've made a mistake. I've talked about making the meshes and whatnot, and like constructing things differently. I didn't do that. Thankfully, I can cover piece here, so there won't be any issues. But you can kind of see how it's going to look like, right? Because you know, you can say that there's thing here, right? There's thing here, right? You can determine the like where all those elements are going to be, basically, right? This. Yeah. It's like you can see how it's looking, right? And I want to achieve more or less the same thing, so I know that all of that I have here is a, all of that I have here is some kind of like a mesh, right? And on top of that, I want, or rather our horizon line, which is more or less where you have the mountains in the scene here. And and you can actually see that they've had a line there because like you can see where the colors are changing here. But I'm going to do something similar, which, so basically like we have, a line here, I guess. So there are some inconsistencies, and I'm going to more or less try to do the same inconsistencies here, right? I'm using like several lines, one after one under another, as the sketches for that, because it works, right? It kind of works for me, so I'm going to keep at it this way. So we are just now building the inconsistencies in the land, right? Okay, and then I guess I can do the same thing here, but like, here. So I guess like things are going to be prolonged because of those lines. So like I'm going to keep in mind irregularities, I guess. Okay, here, that, yeah. So basically we are going to be aware how the land basically is going to look like. I guess I'm not going to make the pond. I'm just like making the, you know, the areas, and those areas are going to be kind of colored on their own. Of course, there's going to be like the basic color, as you can see here, right? Like there's like some elements are colored, some are not, and then it seems like they've done like on top of it some elements, so that's more or less what I'm also going to try to pull off. Okay. Here. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. And on top of that, we're going to use our flats. Hi, GTA, got over here. How are you? How's it going? Yeah, I totally know what you're saying. I'm so sorry. Um, but yeah, I'm just going to try and pull off some more, I'm rebuilding the background because you could see that it wasn't really drawn good, so I have to like redo the hills, right? The entire backdrop that we have there. And I've made some sketching. I've also got some specific like method to sketch quickly lines like this so we would know how it's going to go. And I've got, you know, a better reference directly from the anime, by the way. It's actually an actual scene from Frieren anime because I was watching. I'm on episode 21. Now Frieren is going to fight with that dwarf kind of character. Yep, yep. Okay, and yeah, I guess we can just, you know, we just need to make sure that everything's like, la 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 la, you know what I mean? Oh my. And how are you, GTA? How are you? Good to have you here. How are you? Hope it has gone. I'm really, yeah, I'm really pumped up for this illustration. So far, it looks good. I'm happy with the background, like a lot. I've also really liked the background I've done for the illustration for a VTuber. Let me quickly get it here. Here. Because I really enjoyed doing that, but you can see that it's not necessarily perfect. Like, okay, the water is okay, but the clouds are not good, you know? That water it could be better. And basically this like entire backdrop here, it's not really cool. It's not really good. So like I really want to, you know, kind of redo a lot of things when it comes to my process, and I want to pay more like closer attention to the you know, to the things directly, you know what I mean? Yeah. So. We have done that. Some more greens, right? Because it's going to overflow here. Now on top of that, we are going to pick darker color. Actually the darkest color, by the way, because we are going to then paint on top of it the lights. And yeah, so I'm just, yeah, I guess like this is what Frieren also does. Like you don't, I don't think I have to like zoom in quite close, or maybe I should try to pick up a bit different. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure about the brush. I'm not sure about the brush. Also, I've tried that Japanese sketching technique today, where you're taking lasso filling tool and basically with like 25 opacity. Really cool. I wasn't really expecting the fact that Clip Studio Paint apparently has a, you know, already has that entire tool like prepared to be used directly as a separate brush in the marketplace for free. I've took it, you know, works pretty well. I really like that one. I have to say it helps me to build things a little bit better. I don't know why. I feel that it's because of how free everything feels when I'm using the, you know, the filling tool itself. And I can just overlay, you know, the character details and such on top of it. I guess I'm going to try to, you know, redo this thing on my own too. Like the more or less the entire drop that we've got here. And yeah, one of the very few things with learning, especially environmental art, is patience. So I'm patient and trusting the process. I'm hoping that this background is going to look better. You know, of course, the further away something is, the less details, we're going to see. So I'm kind of trying to go with that idea, right? It's very far away because she's in the sky, basically. So I don't think I have to do God knows how huge things, if that makes sense. Okay. We've got this. This. Everything should be good. Also, no background music again. Sorry. I'm going to hide these. And you know what? Okay, I'm going to merge that. I can delete this. And now slightly brighter color. To go on top of this, maybe on a new layer. I've noticed this brush also blends colors a little bit. So to make sure that, colors are not going to be like a blend, which I kind of have to. If I want to establish things, I have to also split layers from time to time. So that's that, here. This. Yeah. Also, I think making like flat lines underneath everything is going to also help me out constructing things a little bit better and translating the shapes that, it's like piece of forest, like here, right? Over on the actual thing, you also have like flatter elements with some jagged lines to show that, the trees are still growing naturally, right? Because it's not a plantation, right? That and all the trees are going to grow in even rows. They're going to be growing in random things. So I guess also the trees here are going to will have to be made like, randomly to such extent. And yeah, those are the forests, right? Forests growing uh from the top. So that's always a bit more always a little bit more problematic, I guess. We have that. Okay. And we have these. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Alrighty. Huh. That's something I'm like I was always wondering about. And look at that. It looks already way better than the previous one. That's interesting. Okay, I like that. Oh my. Also can't wait for Hytale. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait to play Hytale with Muto. I'm going to add some actual, also brighter colors, maybe, maybe also a bit different, like this. There we go. Yeah. And some elements are going to have lines like this. That is looking good. Okay, I like that. I'm happy. I'm happy with this background. Holy shit. I really like that. Maybe thinner lines, I guess. Let's just, blend everything here. And way thinner lines. So let's change the size of it to, let's say, 15? Yeah, 15. Okay. Or maybe, okay, maybe even different. 20. Or 25. Okay, 25 should be good. That's very cool that we've got all of that to work with. So I've prepared things a little bit. I've made a test world for the game today, just to see how the multiplayer works, so I would know how to prepare things with Muto when we are going to start preparing for the game to, to play it, right? Okay. Hell yeah. Let's overlay this. Yeah, that works. Also, that needs to be done a bit differently. This can go like this. Oh my. I wasn't expecting really to, finish things to such extent, but I guess that's good. I guess that's good. Tell me, folks, how are your, did you work on something? GTA? Worked on your game? How are the trenches doing that you've mentioned? Nah, I didn't do shit. I see. That's fine. Take your time though. Take your time. Sometimes it's necessary to do things slower. Take your time. Not really be bothered by the like set deadlines that you're the only person who gives yourself deadlines when you are working on projects like this. Like for example, I have a bunch of sketches done, but to be done, this week basically. I don't have to worry about nothing. To be fair. I guess, you know, everything was going to be, I'd be able to say that everything's in place when I'll, you know, when I'll finally have all of those rough lines everywhere already like changed basically into proper view. I feel like the full backdrop right there works well. Let's merge everything here just for better corrections. I'm gonna go eat. Okay. Have a nice meal. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this one will go. I also want to, you know, make the indie game assets, I guess, at some point. Shouldn't really take me that long. I want to make a character set as a base, I guess, you know? And then, so like establish, like if I want the character to move in 8 directions or in 1 direction, I mean in 4 directions or 8, you know, and just kind of establish some basics for the project. Okay. Also, my niece came around with my sister. I don't think you'll be able to hear her, but I can hear her trying to get attention. Yeah. Slowly but surely, those fields are starting to look good. All right. That couple more lines. Fear not. We should be done with the background on the stream, I think. Like to such extent that I am going to be able to sit down and say like, yep, I like it. At least. You know? Alright. And yeah, I don't want to go overboard, but I see, for example, how many details Frieren is using. So I'm kind of trying to match the same level of details, because I'm assuming that it's going to be the same all over the companies, you know? Like all over the places. That's why I hope you don't mind me using reference photo and like drawing things slightly closer to what to the original, you know, image. I'm also trying to make some differences. Like for example, here there should be a little bit more space. I think I'm overdoing it with the trees right now. So let's try to erase some trees and make like some areas, you know, with or without the dirt. Just enough that we could determine that there are also some hills. And yeah, meanwhile, do tell me, how do you feel about our recent illustrations? Any requests for the characters? Tomorrow we are going to sketch, so that'll be nice. You know? Because yeah, I've started gathering requests for anime characters, basically. And I think only anime characters, or like some like anime video games. So video games with anime style, like For example, mm, Genshin Impact, right? Like this kind of thing. Like you can feel free to give me the requests. I'm open for these. And while you're at it, you can also tell me why you like the character you would want to request. I would be glad to hear that. It's sometimes it's difficult to make the character look as well, to portray the character as it's supposed to be portrayed, because for example I didn't really watch certain anime. That's something I've heard from a friend of mine, that I should be drawing characters that I know, but I also want to be able to draw requests. That's why I'm also watching a lot of anime recently, and now we are, just having Frieren, which I'm almost done with the first season. I'm glad for that. 21st episode out of 28, and I guess around around now there's going to be a new season, right? If I remember correctly. Can't wait for that. I guess I'm going to throw in, already to my watching list, if it's already in. Okay, I feel like it's good. I feel like this is good. There are some lines here, so let's overcolor those. Some line here. Line here. Here. That. Okay. All right. We have this. This. That's something I've never really went around with with such fine details. Hi Luke, glad to have you here. How are you? How are you? Hope Ryan has gone. I think this must be the first time you're around, so hope you find a coffee corner here. How are you? If it's not the first time, well, I still hope that you've already got your comfy corner. Also, I feel like this year Hightail is going to be like around, alright, just chilling, trying to recover quickly so I can get back on the animation grind. Ooh, animation grind, I like it. If you wanna, sometimes it's also really nice to work with someone who also draws in the background. I don't know, at least for me. I don't know why. It's always, I spend my morning criticizing, correcting, teaching someone. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Yeah, that might be, difficult. Over time. Hi uncle, got over here, how are you? How's it going? Yeah, making tutorials is difficult, and some, especially when you're like teaching live, right? So like on call or something, or in person, that is even more exhausting. It's easier to sit down, write like a scenario, and rethink like what you want to talk about, correct like everything, like entire scenario, and then with all the information you want to share, you can like throw in the like make the tutorial episode, and it's way less. I at least personally, I feel like it's way less straining than teaching someone in person. Yeah, for me, it's way easier to just record the tutorial and go about the day like this. Doing good. What about you? Doing nice, doing nice. It's my weekend, so I'm resting after resting after my work week. Got only 2 days like that. Probably will have to also check up because there are going to be new people coming into the work, so I might need to figure out some plan changes over weekends. So I have to check if I've received any important messages. There you go. On the work chat. I am now in Korea. Health check is going on. Ooh, Korea. But like you are in Korea and you are going to live there for a while, or? Yeah. Uh, the backgrounds. Hi Prof, glad to have you here. How are you? How's it going? I think this might be the first time seeing, so hope you will find a comfy corner here. Working on once a week and should be immediate OT pay. Yeah. My boss doesn't want to pay OT though. My boss is yeah, messed up. I hate him, but he doesn't really check up on me. He's not like that much crazy over like checking what I'm doing, and quite often I'm ending up like just hanging around our Discord server and stuff. Hi Zaga, got Evi here. How are you? How's it going? Yeah, before the operation there are tons of health checkups. Ooh, oh yeah, the operation. I'm really hoping that your operation will go good, man. I really hope so. Stay strong. I do believe that everything is going to be alright. Hope to hear from you after. If you're on Discord after the thing, you can also DM me. But yeah, Prof. Yeah, it should be immediate OT pay, but yeah. I've told my boss because actually I've had like 8 hours in the last weekend in total, like during 2 days, and I think it was actually 4 in on Wednesday, on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday, so it was half and half between the days. But and then on Monday I've done actually 16-hour long shift wherein I'm working 8 because I was still working from home to pin things out. I've told him that, hey, actually that's not cool, and he said that nah, we are not paying OTs, but if you are going to how did he said that? I've lost the English word for it, but it was like, if you are going to whine about it, there you go, if you are going to whine about it, you don't have to talk with them, right? Just turn off the phone and that's it. And I will, whine about it, really? Like, I've literally spent 8 additional hours during the day, and I just want to be paid for hard work, right? I mean, it's just appreciation, right? I guess it's just appreciation. Are Korean good with health stuff? I think so, yeah. Koreans are. I think Koreans actually have a lot of leading, areas when it comes to health and such. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could drop it, but right now I'm looking for a job, but I'm not really finding anything good. Well, good. I'm not finding anything really, because at this point I'm even willing to go to supermarket. But even in supermarkets, there's nothing. So Yeah, Korea is good in bone marrow transplant and have high success rate. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you've went to Korea for that operation. That's for sure. That's for sure. And oh well. Um, I mean, just look at that. This like now, you know what they always search for and in LinkedIn 3 times a week. You know, yeah, yeah, I know. But I need to finally learn that. But right now, with all the things that I have on my head, it's like impossible to do that. Like, I've calculated how much I would have to earn monthly to be stable. For example, from the internet activity to be able to like drop it and learn the programming and switch to the how do you call it, and switch to the like learning things like C sharp, right? And then search for a job related to this. Um, but like, you know, I don't want to put strain on myself because I'm not looking directly for like fast income or something like this. Of course, it's nice and comfy life, right? But all your labor has value, but it's hard to put yourself at risk standing up for that. Yeah, yeah, especially nowadays because like work market is very like unsure, and a lot of people already say that they are looking for a job for 5 years and they can't find it. Like straight up, people are looking for a job for 5 years and they can't find anything. I ain't taking any risks, so I took the best option. It is expensive, but not expensive than a life. True, best words you've said, Uncle. Yeah, like money can be worked for, so it's not a biggie. Even if it's a loan, like you can pay that loan off. But if you are going to like be cheap for your own like operations and health and such, it's going to be, you know, like life doesn't have a price. It's you only have one and you can't get another one. That's why it's, you know, worth every penny. Yeah, that's fair. We're almost done with those. I feel like where we are with this side, we now have to work on that side. And yeah, slowly we're progressing. And what can I say? Also, Prof, you are right. Um, you know, if I'm going to stand up for it and lose a job, I will be jobless for a long period of time. On most likely. On one hand, okay, cool, because I can sit down and speedrun learning C sharp and probably find a job as a junior programmist, even for like minimal wage. I don't mind, and it would be, you know, a nice and comfy job most likely. So we'll see. I'm slowly but surely getting around some better, you know, some better planning when it comes to my week. I'm starting to have less and less stuff to do throughout the week. So I'm happy with that. I'm pretty much happy with it, you know? Because if this is how it's going to go, yeah. It's about learning new stuff. Yeah, Zaga. It's not about fast money, it's about learning new stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So I'm not like missed one. Oh wait. Also, I searched. Wait. Also, as I search for spine tutorials, there is huge demand for spine animators. It's not about. Yeah, I guess I could try. 4,060,000 in Korean won. I already paid it. Damn. God damn. Wait, isn't it like still like couple mil, like at least a milli of dollars or something like that? How much is that in dollars? Like 250k dollar? Shoot, that's still huge. For us, it's like 1 million PLN. Like for 1 million PLN, I like that. Yeah, that's a lot of freaking money. I guess in USD for people also. That's like home price. Like you could buy a home with this kind of money. Dang, yeah, I know what, right? Also, the guy, yeah, I think I could try the spine animation animator. I would need to just make some quick portfolio and go for it. I've already tried a little bit and I've got some nice first animations. They're looking good in my opinion. I feel like those are like junior. It's 10k PLN. For the spine animator? If it's for the if it's for the spine animator that much a month, then like god damn. No, the 4 mil Korean one. Oh, I see. 10k PLN? Hmm. Also, today I've almost like beat up a guy under supermarket. Like, I'm not even joking. I've got super mad. Like, I've actually was ready to pull the guy out of his car and like start pounding. The guy insulted my mom and threatened her to destroy her car. If I have health insurance, half of it will cover but disease. I have nobody give me any health insurance. Oh, I see. It's one of those, eh? Actually, I've got like a custom health insurance when I was about to go to my operation for a knee. And didn't end up going there because of very high risk, and I didn't want it to end up, like messing my knee even more because it wasn't like I wouldn't be able to like move or anything like that. The risk was that the pain would be even stronger. I already suffer from chronic pain and it's really bad at times, especially like for example today because like today I have a bit stronger knee pain. But that's the thing. I guess it's also it might be also a huge difference between um like different kinds of things because mine it was just like chronic pain operation or something like that. Yours is like your life depends on that basically. So that's why they might be like this. Although health insurance companies should be going on for this. Like they can't just refuse not giving you the health insurance. They might like try to give you higher price to pay basically for it. But I think they still should give you the insurance. Oh, they can refuse. Really? Damn. Damn. In our bureau, when I was taking my thing, oh boy, don't get me started on health insurance. Yikes, yeah. The one I did is GDPR system refused a lot of risky people. Huh. I see. For in the bureau I went, they told me like that they can't really refuse that, but they are going to like the ladies told me openly like, you know, okay, there is the thing because like something goes bad, you are going to get like worse chronic pain. You are going to receive the insurance, but that also means that you are kind of risky person, and because of that, like, of course we can't refuse you to get you insured, but we are going to raise the price. And it was like, I think 250 PLN more, which is huge difference, by the way, huge difference. Like, I've got today 3 bags of groceries worth of 250 PLN. So like, you can imagine how much bigger that difference was. And like, okay, we've accepted this. I was insured, but the doctor like sat down and said like, you know what? Like, okay, sure, things are good. Someone's calling me. Give me a second. I sorry. Yeah, my boss called. Yeah, they can't get any profit of it, which the disease I have. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But like, you are paying the thing, you know? You are, well, oh, okay, I guess this is the thing. Because I believe that the profit would be if there would be a mistake of the doctors, and basically they would lose because there wouldn't be any risk from the doctor. And for my case, there was a risk from the doctor. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's why they might be able to refuse. Yeah, now I understand. Mm-hmm. At least in my weird twisted thing. Yeah, way of thinking. Also, goddamn, this background starts to look so good. I'm so freaked out about the fact that I'm finally making a like slightly more elaborated backgrounds than my usual backgrounds, But that also shows up how much work I have to put into my illustrations if I want to draw everything with like, colored characters and colored backgrounds, many items, different perspectives and such. Like, for those who don't know, at the start of the stream, I've deleted the previous version. On YouTube, actually, you can see on YouTube in the post, you can actually see how it looked previously. Or actually, wait, because I've got this thing saved, I can show you how the difference between the two. Hmm. Yeah, so this is how it looked like before, and this is how it looks like now. Okay, I've got another phone call. Goddamn. Again, both, because we're hiring new people, new drivers, and basically he's asking me about the possibilities and plans because like he wasn't. Baron looks. Oh, that's a glow up. Thank you. I'm really glad to hear. Background looks a lot more alive in the new version. I know, right? That's why I'm so happy with it. Also, sorry that I'm picking up the work calls. You know, again, I can't really risk it to stay silent with things. But yeah, the background is really nice. I really like it personally. And well, I'm kind of trying to learn from other backgrounds, and you can see that it's also like a lot of splotches and such. I feel like this background is a little more chaotic still. Like I should clean it up a little bit more because there's just way too many, like 3 patches basically. But it's also supposed to be a, you know, it's also supposed to be a forest, dense forest underneath her. So that's why I kind of go this way. But still, even though the forest is dense, there should be some more patches because of hills and such, right? Yeah. But I'm really glad it's visibly better already. And I guess that's the last chunk here? Yeah, over here there will be last chunk. Maybe we could add some pop, 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 pop. Yeah. Also, yeah, about that Japanese thing, right? The new Japanese sketching method. Let me save and show you what I mean. If I go here I go to my selection tools, I can take lasso fill and basically going to with a black color, I can like, you know, make things like this, right? And basically I can quickly sketch out the shape of it. I was doing similar thing already in the past, but I was doing that with my 50% opacity brush, right? So, you know, things, it's way faster this way, and I can just continue with my usual process and just like trace the lines on top of it, you know? And I feel that this is going to be way better element to add to my, you know, tool belt rather than using my usual sketching method, which is making the construction of the characters. You know, the squares, circles, rectangles, cylinders, and such. Like all of that is okay. It's good. It works, but I feel like it's taking way more time, and I've noticed that I'm starting to have a little bit more problems, especially with like perspectives. Well, because yeah, I don't know. It might be a bit. That one might also be a bit weird though for me because for those who don't know, I suffer from aphantasia, which means I cannot imagine. I don't see images inside of my head because like basically you're supposed to, and if you cannot, or if you can just imagine like simple colors or shapes, that means you have hypophantasia, which is small fantasia, like imagination, right? Or lack of imagination. But there's also aphantasia, total absence of imagination. And unfortunately, I've got the later one, which is total absence of imagination, and I've ended up being an artist that cannot like see images, that literally has zero imagination to, you know, cover his artworks with. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but you know, what can be done, right? I was born this way and I've learned how to deal with things. At first, I thought that I've kind of lost maybe imagination, but uh, because, like, you know, well, at first I thought that there was something wrong with me, you know, because I was younger. Aphantasia wasn't really a thing, but people started like changing the, like, making the thing right? Like they started like looking into that phenomena, because some people also don't have the inside voice, right? So they cannot think inside their head, which is causing which kind of caused them also some issues over time with you know functioning. But for example, my friend said she never really heard any voice inside of her head, but at some point she started, and she freaked out and even went to the to like psychiatrist, because she started hearing voices inside her head, and basically it turned out that she was thinking. So maybe there is a chance, maybe there's something that can bring back some, the lack of imagination or thinking. Like, for example, I can't really get the sense. Some people can imagine sense, basically. Like, for example, or tastes. So, for example, if you talk about lemons or oranges, some people are going to feel the taste just on the thought of it, or have that smell. I think it's a new experience for a lot of people. Yeah. True, true. So yeah, I wonder if it's just something that I can kind of like try to develop. Well, overall, it's just a brain portion. Some people don't even have inner voice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like they can't think. And that friend of mine never really had the inner voice. Never. And she started she started thinking and she freaked out. She actually kind of developed the inner voice. Well, all of that is kind of connected with the brain. So I assume that maybe if there's like way to exercise certain portion of the brain that is responsible for imagination, maybe that would help me develop my imagination skills. You know? I wonder how to exercise that. Because for those who are wondering how I'm even operating, for me it's very simple process. I'm thinking of book-like descriptions. They are very detailed. So basically, when I'm thinking about, let's say, Frieren, I'm thinking about short, white-haired elf girl, mid-length ears pointing to the sides, red earrings with the golden attachments, white, golden, black outfit, and white and black stripes in front of her blouse, right? And like you can it kind of portrays the thing, right? It's very detailed thing. I can memorize a lot of words, and that kind of allows me to like bring back the details and generally everything, but it means that I have to sit more time over things. It shows a lot of times that you're using logical knowledge instead of something imagined. Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, I think it's believe it shows a lot of times that you use lexical knowledge instead of something imagined. Okay, the lexical. I thought like you meant logical instead of lexical, but lexical is the wording. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I do think, yeah, you're right, and I do feel like it's actually, I do feel like it's actually visible, unfortunately. Unfortunately or not, because for example, if someone wants to draw but they don't have imagination, like it might give them some idea how to make their own processes, because it's all everything is around the processes, your pipeline, how you do things. Some people are just like know more or less what they want, and they are bringing up like mood board and just draw everything as they see things on the references, and that works perfectly fine, because let's say they have certain like room, but they don't like certain furnitures, so they are bringing in furnitures that are literally in the same like in the position, right, in the same perspective, and they are just drawing the entire room, but they are exchanging things with like other furnitures or stuff that they have in their thing. Also, for a lot of people, imagination come and goes depending on the day and moods and how tired they are. Yeah, I would also think of that this would be connected with that because it's like, you know, brain related, right? Sometimes I also I'm struggling with like having the usual thinking. What the heck happened to my stream? Statistics died. Stupid YouTube. The statistics died. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, it's, you know, if someone struggles with imagining things, like I do feel like it's going to work for you. Also, you see why I was, for example, why sometimes I didn't wanted to stream, or that after coming back from work, I'm struggling a lot with drawing new things, especially new things, or just basically doing stuff because I'm also like I have the entire scene usually in my head already like planned out, and I have to like bring in and like memorize this entire scene to like constantly bring it back whenever I'm working on certain details. Or those details change, and you could also someone also pointed that out, that I was talking about different description and I'm ending up drawing something else. It's because sometimes I'm forgetting what I want to draw, and the like different kind of thing that also fits the scene is working out. But usually my first thought is the best one, I've noticed. That's why I don't want to change my. Usually, I don't change my plans when it comes to, you know, drawings and such. You know. Okay. Now let's see. Do I have to add anything? I don't think so. That ground already looks really cool. I love it. I love it. Also, I feel like to push things further, it would be good for me if I would, like, for example, you know, I can do a thing. I'm going to hide this because I need that color. And basically, like, you know, like, just add things like this. Like, it's still, you know, clouds behind the horizon, just very small ones. That doesn't have to be planned out, at least. And I guess I could also take like very dark blue and do something like that. Happy little mountain, you know what I mean? To be turning into Bob Ross with this one. Although I've managed to be fair, personally, I've managed to go toe to toe with. I've managed to go toe to toe with Bob Ross. My painting didn't really work. Bob Ross, yeah. New idea for the emoticon. Bobber, looking like Bob Ross. And now we are going to draw Happy Little Tree. Oh, nom 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 nom. The tree getting eaten. Oh my, oh my. Yeah, that looks cool. And now the last thing is actually coloring Frieren. Yeah, the literally last element is drawing Frieren. Besides that, we're actually doing good. We're almost done. The background is done. I can like, for me this is finished. If someone still sees something, you know, if someone still, you mean shading? Yeah, shading. So if someone still sees something or says that we could edit some elements, please tell. Like, you know, I'm good with characters, but I'm pretty bad with environmental. That's why I've done the study not that long ago. Well, what was it, day before yesterday? Yeah. So, you know, sometimes I'm going to need also your eyes to help me. At least until I be done with the environmental study, and I'll be good. For now, like, I really like the far away, and this is going to be useful. You know why? This is something I've also learned that is good to do. Here's the thing. You want to learn how to structurize things that are very far away, and then when you are going to draw more and more illustrations, you are going to bring things closer and closer to the camera, to the point where you have to learn details. So we are now learning like from the majority to the detail, right? Also, give me a second, I've got something. I was downloading some, you know, I was downloading some brushes, and I've got brushes with leaves and basically three elements. Usually used by anime. I want to add that and see how's that going to look like. Yeah, it would be good if it wouldn't be not in my style basically. But I guess I could still use those later on, you know what I mean? I'm just going to delete that for now. Yeah. I also got the wood texture, like wooden furnitures. I've got like wood texture brush, so I could speed up at least drawing those. I hate those. I hate drawing textures of wood. At least I can do that. And well. Let's see. For how long are we streaming now? Hour and 30 minutes? Well, to be fair now, since we only have Frieren to be colored, well, shaded, actually. I guess. Say, do we still want to continue for now and finish up in like in 1 more hour, or do we finish Frieren in the very next stream, basically? Also, considering that I had to redo the entire thing, she's so smug. Yeah, she is. She is. I do feel like Frieren is quite smug in anime. Based on what I've watched, she's quite smug. But she's like old person smug, and I think I've managed to pull that off. Because she has like smug, but yet kind of sincere smugness to it, kind of friendly one. You know? Like, for example, as if Fern, like we are seeing the perspective of Fern when they are, you know, flying, and for example, Frieren is teaching her something, and like, I don't know, she caused her like to drop and get scared, right? And then Frieren like helped her, and that's the smugness here, right? That's something I've been kind of worried when it comes to the when it comes to the illustrations, you know, the scenarios. Agreed, friendly smug is a good way to put it. So yeah, I also want to. I've noticed that I've came back again to the same face syndrome. I want to make alien characters making faces a bit more advanced. You know, of course, we're not really making that crazy faces ourselves, so it's more realistic way. Yeah, but I don't feel like it's good way to put it this way. I do feel like we should that anime should have a bit more to it, basically. You know. And I think that we can pull that off quite quickly. So yeah. Um, so folks, I'm not really good at this. I've tried that yesterday and I've cringed, but you know, if you like what we are doing, right? If you enjoy my company, feel free to subscribe. You know, I'm going to try now to stream every single day. Even if I'm going to be tired, considering that I can just sketch or do other things like Pokemon as humans or other things. Personally, I do enjoy those things. Sketches also, you know, so we should be able to. I should be able to fill out the entire week, even if I'm going to be tired with stuff. But yeah, I do really hope that you know you've enjoyed the stream. And now I guess we can set up with our things. Like subscribe, pet a cat, drink water and be good. Yep, exactly. Like, subscribe, pet a cat, drink water, hydrate, be good. So, GTA, Luke, and Zagav, thank you so much for being active chat on Twitch. Thanks Uncle and Prof for being active chat on YouTube. Also, thank you all lurkers who appeared for at least this 1 second. Meanwhile, as always, stay creative, and I hope to see you all in the next one.